morning.
All chirked up here, bringing you our current thoughts of the day.
Today we have a little bit of fear and anxiety going on about our older teenagers and launching them into the future and their lives and what they have going and planned and
The wild world.
yeah. So we're trying to navigate that as their moms and parents, and did we do the right thing? Did we prepare them enough? Did we supply them with everything that they're going to need, as far as being ready to tackle everything that the world has to offer them and throw their way?
And it can be stressful because, we think back to when we were younger and the things that we wish we had known sooner, that we didn't know. And so we can tackle those things because we remember, hey, we didn't have that, so let's make sure they have that. But then still in the back of your mind, you're like, but what am I missing?
Right.
What am I missing that later they're going to go, you never said?
Right.
And sometimes I think that's just, I know that's just part of growing up. Like some things you just have to learn by default, by hard knocks. Like that's just,
right.
And it's not going to be the same information for everybody, but it's, that's part of it,
Yeah.
But how do you ease that fear as like a mom? Like, did I do everything I could? Right?
I know I have, faith and trust that we did all we could and we gave it our best effort. But that underlying fear is still, will they be able to fly on their own?
Right.
And I think it's different if you have girls or boys. Like you have two older boys, I have older girls. So it's going to be a lot different,
Even for each kid. I know some, like I can, even though I'm only really prepared to launch one, just about, right? The same as you. I think that some kids are going to be easier than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that because they each have their own different path and what they want to do and
the way they've been. And so it's for sure going to be interesting. I definitely don't think I've met my anxiety match with my first one.
Yeah.
I think it's yet to come. By the time my tiny ones are going to be ready to launch, I think I'll just be tired and I'll be like, look, I've done what I could.
Yeah.
Call your older sibling.
Yeah.
I have no more answers.
I know my parents were always, we just did the best we could and we hoped that we gave you everything that you needed, and then you just have to trust that you've succeeded,
Right.
And it's kind of like kicking the baby bird out of the nest and hope that they fly,
right. Yeah, it's true. I did hear, and I wish I could remember who said this. I'm pretty sure I heard it as a live speaker. But what he said was, if you're doing the best that you know how, and if you're following, what God has laid out, he goes, I think maybe then, I'm trying to think of how he put this. He said, maybe you have unfounded fears if you think you're big enough to mess up God's plan for that child. Like if you think the decisions you're going to make today, like if I send them to the wrong school, will it mess up their entire life? Like, and his basic thought was, if you think a certain school is going to ruin a child's life, like that's not realistic.
Right.
God's bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's a nice comfort to know, like, we're doing our best, we're doing what we can, and God can take care of the rest. Like, we can only mess it up so bad, but God's bigger overall.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a nice thing to rest in.
Yeah. So maybe instead of having the constant fear or the fearful thoughts, did I do enough? Stop and pray. God, please tell me, that I've done enough. Please help me to get rid of the fear.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because that's, and even in our own lives, when we're going to make decisions, do we take a new job? Do we do something else? If we're in line with what we're supposed to be doing and what, in general, doing what God has asked of us, right? It's not going to ruin his master plan for what he wants to accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that you don't have more control over any situation than God does.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's, and if God really doesn't want something to happen, or he's going to shut that door anyways.
Right. Right.
So,
and then he'll lead them
right.
on his path and his plan,
Right.
you know?
Which, even in my own life, I can say we were never going to take some of these roads. And yet we're
But they
on
were
them.
put before us. Yep.
We were picked up in a hurricane and set on the road.
Right. Yeah.
But, and that's just the way it is. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I took a lot of comfort when like I said, I wish I remembered who the speaker was, but that was a big deal,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, if we remember who the speaker was, or we'll put it in the comments, or we'll tag
Yeah.
it. Comment down below your thoughts or your fears. Do you have older kids that you have launched or are getting ready to launch? Do you have younger kids that you have future thoughts or wants for them, desires for them? Is there something that you do as a family to kind of prepare everyone for that time? Yeah, I guess today's video is more of just laying it out there.
Right.
And not so much of advice, but we hope you were tricked up by it, and we look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
Bye.